we have the great pleasure of having the Blue Diamond team with me on this segment. And I'll let each of them introduce themselves. So why don't the three of you guys all introduce yourself? I think Adriano's more known, but everybody should be known and everyone should tell their story. So Vincenzo, why don't you start and tell everybody who you are, what you do, and where you're from, and a little bit about your background.
Okay, I'm Vincenzo Morocco. I'm Adriano's 50-50 partner in House of Gold, which represents Blue Diamond. I got into the business 7 years ago. My father, who introduced Candiani denim to the North American market and had a very long and prosperous career out of Los Angeles, introduced me to Adriano, and we started House of Gold, which is our company that represents Blue Diamond and other mills.
Lovely. Gary.
Hi, my name is Gary Yu, and I'm the Director of Strategy and Product Development for House of Gold. I actually joined the team about a year and a half ago, and I was very fortunate because I got to work with Adriano again. I actually started my career at the brand AG, and that's where I met Adriano about 19 years ago. So fast forward, many brands in between, here I am again working with him. So, I mean, it's been a pleasure.
19 years ago? That seems like yesterday. Anyway, okay. Adriano, please tell everybody.
Yeah, let's say I'm Adriano Goldschmidt. I have a long career in denim. Let's say I started in Europe for many, many years until more or less year 2000. I've been working mostly in design and marketing and launching brands like Replay and Diesel and Goldie and so many, many others. Let's say the beginning of my career was about design, but the second part of my career, when I realized all the mistakes that I was doing, I decided to go on the other side, try to fix the mistakes. And I've been working very hard in sustainability and to make our industry more clean. And so I came in America, I started AG. They've been very, very successful and other brands. And now I'm almost full-time at House of Gold in working in innovation, in new fibers, in new machines, in new processes, in order to make our industry a little bit better. I hope more than a little.
I'm sure you will. So you guys work for Blue Diamond, and you guys do all the development, I guess, for Blue Diamond.
Yeah.
You have a new product that I heard about and that I'm hoping you guys will share with our audience. It's called Wizard. Who's going to tell us about Wizard? I'd like to hear about it.
Let's say I was starting this idea. And first of all, I have to say that Wizard is not a fabric. It's a process of basically dyeing indigo, starting from the idea of making more easy and more sustainable the final process that all the brand does, that is a finishing. I noticed that our history in denim was about very deep indigo colors. And this one is not working anymore so well for the innovation that we have in machines. So I realized that we need a solution for the laser and for the ozone machines. So Wizard is a combination of two important factors. One, that we change the way of making the indigo, means from powder to liquid. The process normally is basically a chemical process that honestly is many elements are toxic. We went into an electrolytic system that is much more sustainable. In addition to this, we change the process of dyeing using only a limited number of of indigo boxes. This one is bringing a saving that from our first test is 75 less water, 60% of water, 50% of energy, and 45% of CO2 emissions. These one are data that are coming from our first samples, and we need to go in real production to give to check them, certificate, and have a confirmation of those numbers. Let's say we feel that this one, not we feel, we are sure that this process can be applied to a family of products. We have already in our collection a lot of different fabrics, from comfort stretch to rigid to obviously cotton, but also all what we do in hemp and tencel. And so it's something that I feel is going to change in some way the sustainability that we are able to give with our fabric. Consider that using, for instance, the Wizard family products attached to our Wiser wash, that is another amazing patent in washing, we can bring a serious change to our products. And I feel like is also very good today because Wizard is able to give also a better product in terms of look, because we don't have to forget that the consumer is buying a product not only because of label, but they buy because they have to like it. And so today, with a combination of those things that we do, we are also able to give a much better product.
Lovely, lovely. And then you guys are also doing a lot of good work, I understand, on hemp.
Yes, hemp. So just to clarify, hemp is not a marijuana. They belong to the same cannabis family, but
That's a shame. You can't. No, that's a shame.
Contains very, very levels of THC. And the reason why I bring this up is because I myself didn't know about it. So I after doing some research, I realized it's not marijuana. In fact, hemp was used it was very popular in the US and in apparel. It wasn't owned until 1937 when the US passed the Marijuana Act that they outlawed and banned growing hemp and industrial hemp. Fast forward 2018, they just passed the Farm Act and they're legalized to grow hemp again. Lucky for us, this ban affected the Americas and not Asia. So at Blue Diamond, in fact, we've been developing hemp products for about 2 years now. We're currently working with 2 hemp suppliers, and this helped us get a head start. And we really got to know the fiber. So we were able to blend it and play around with it a lot because that's what we love to do. You don't know unless you try. So it works very well with recycle, organic, tencel, you name it, stretch. We have about 50 plus articles in our collection right now.
50?
And
50 articles?
Yes, yes.
Oh, that's huge.
Yeah.
You really believe in that?
Wow.
But because of the growing demand and limited supplies, to offset our pricing, we've been offering it in our blends. So our hemp articles range anywhere from $4 to $12 or so. So we really love this product. I mean, I think it's like the godfather of natural fibers out there. I mean, there are so many benefits that outweigh the cons. For example.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
No,
go ahead. For example.
For example, compared to cotton, it requires about 2/3 less water. per acre. It can yield 2 to 3 times more. It grows faster, meaning 3 months for hemp product and 5 months for cotton. Grows in a lot of different terrains and soils. It's very durable, very low impact. And some of the other things, sorry, I gotta take on my notes. Oh, the biggest thing is it requires no pesticides. I mean, on a side note, pesticide is a huge problem for the cotton industry because it accounts for about, I don't know, 16% of all global pesticides used.
Not everybody agrees. Not everybody agrees with that number, but okay.
No.
No.
It's not good for the soil, contaminates the water. I mean, you know, hemp is truly an organic fiber in itself. I mean, on an interesting note, hemp is a cyto remediation plant, which it could remove the toxins from the soil. So they actually used it in Chernobyl to remove the toxins from the soil. So I mean, a lot of benefits.
Where does your hemp come from?
There's one that comes from Jingtai, around that area where our mill is, so it's local, and then in China, and then there's another one from Wuhan, China.
So you don't use American hemp?
No, just Chinese hemp.
Oh, Chinese.
That's why we were able to be, you know, working with this for the past 2 years.
It's cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Sam, 50 products is amazing. You must be like the kings of that one for sure. The next question I had for you guys is the future business. So post pandemic, I mean, I assume one day this will end. There was an article that someone passed me on the weekend on the BBC that said that there was going to be a vaccine by September, and that they were making 3 billion of those just in case it was approved. Anyway, but there is going to be an end to this. What does the situation look like for you guys post pandemic? How does Blue Diamond see the future? You have to put Vincenzo, you're on mute.
Sorry, this situation in general across the industry, I think, has made the industry realize some of the inefficiencies and some of the dated, you know, methodologies that we're using to, you know, to still operate within the industry. And so I think that across the board, everyone is, you know, pulling inspiration of, you know, what's next, what's the next change in the industry. And one of that is going digital. You know, I know that you guys yourselves are working on a platform. We ourselves also are working on a digital platform and change of methodology of how we deal with the customer directly. You know, up until now, it's been mainly emails and, you know, telephone calls, of course. You know, definitely something like a digital showroom can never replace touching the fabric and feeling the fabric. And I don't think that we should ever think that it should replace it. What it needs to be is something that makes more efficient the process to get to the point of touching that fabric. So, you know, less in-person meetings, less airplanes and what have you, but also just for the customer, a place that they can go on, you know, and see their, you know, their entire history of all the choices they ever made in the fabric. And, you know, hold on just a second. Sorry, I really need to drink water. I'm getting a little dehydrated. So, you know, if someone has a
hopefully that's not a sign of COVID.
It could be. If someone, you know, if a customer has a user profile, for example, where they kind of, you know, shop through an online like experience, an e-commerce like experience, even on a mill side, you know, this is something that us as citizens in 2020 are used to in terms of your online, you know, shopping reality, but it hasn't really translated yet to, you know, an industrial, you know, mill side or vendor side, just because no one's built the system. So essentially, I think that across the board, you know, many companies will start to think along those lines and think of ways to be more efficient in that regard. And, you know, just modernizing things, you know, not having everything be so reliant on email, you know, having a place where a customer can go, save a profile, you know, go back and examine all the photos they've ever done, all the orders they've ever done, the samples, you know, save certain articles, or, you know, just also look at, you know, maybe the mill wants to display their garments, not just here's a photo, but maybe doing something more along the lines of how a brand would present it, you know, and giving inspiration to the designer. But I think the most important thing too is that the designer having the ability to basically on their own time, 24/7, be able to filter what they're searching for without sending a single email. So for example, Gary, you sharing, for example,
Yeah.
you know, if a customer wants to, instead of sending an email, hey, do you have a hemp blend with such and such specialty fiber, they can first go onto the platform and, you know, click a series of filter modes that can narrow down their search to already see if we have something like that or not. And I think that, you know, definitely speeds up the process, the communication, and you know, everything else. I mean, one thing as a salesperson, and all salespeople know this, is the, you know, the doubt and the uncertainty of going into a meeting, not sure if you brought too many things, too little things. You know, we try our best to edit according to what we assume the customer is looking for, but it's a lot more powerful when the customer can already decide in advance of the meeting what they're looking for, and maybe even directly send you an email having already filtered through your entire collection using, you know, the protocol that they're looking for, the prerequisites of what they're looking for, and get you that communication. So, you know, it's, again, it's not going to replace in-person meeting, but I think it'll just make the whole operations back and forth be smoother and more seamless.
It sounds amazing, and I really believe in digital, our industry going digital. Is your situation up? Is your digital showroom up?
No, we are working on it right now. We are, you know, in the next couple of months, we'll be rolling it out. And, you know, right now we're still in testing phase, but the development is going strong. And, you know, it's going to be available.
I think it's fantastic. It's fantastic. It's a great idea.
So yeah, I think in general, that's going to be the future.
I don't disagree. I completely salute you. Good idea. What else, guys? Is there anything else that you wanted to share with the audience?
Adriana, do you want to, about the new mill?
Yeah, maybe.
Adriana, we have 2 or 3 minutes left, so please.
Yeah, let's say, you know, 3 years ago, it was a kind of booming situation in China. Everybody was thinking to do more and more and more, including Blue Diamond. So, you know, Blue Diamond is a building and a factory that goes back in the time to the famous '89 when the business went private. And the innovation at Blue Diamond was done mostly with the innovation of the machines, but the building was still the building of the '89. So they decided to increase the size, to make a new building, a new operation. And they started the project that now I'm gonna show to you a few pictures of the rendering, that it is an amazing project. Obviously, with the situation that we have today, we are not planning anymore to increase our production, that today is about 3 million yards per month. But what is gonna happen, that we're gonna give a totally different working system in terms, you see the factory, and we're giving a lot of attention to the method of work, and it's gonna be totally sustainable with recycling water, with solar panels for generating energy, and also with a lot of space. The plan is that they bringing the finishing and the dyeing at the end of the 2019, and in 2020, and in 2021, they're gonna bring the spinning and the weaving. And I hope that this one in conjunction to all what we do with the fibers, with the dyeing process, with the finishing in terms of sustainability, is going to be much better for the people, a better working conditions. And so for sure, for Blue Diamond, is going to be a big jump.
Thank you. So I want to thank Vincenzo, Gary, Adriano. Thank you for this time and for sharing this for us. And we wish you good luck for the next season. Hopefully we all go back to work normally soon.
Yes, thank you, Andrew.
Thank you. Take care.
Thank you, Andrew. Good
Thank
luck.
you, Andrew.